Anderson and Matt Richey, and the two of you guys wrote a song together called He Will Arise, and we shared it with our church this week for the first time. We're going to be teaching it to them again this week at all of our campuses, and just really wanted to kind of capture the heart and the inspiration behind the lyrics, how melodically everything came together, the arrangement. So would you share with us, like, what was the heart behind the song?
I was reading through Psalms, and when I got to 10, I was reading about, the Psalms is speaking of, God being far away and being kind of persecuted and just the enemy at them. But then in the end, talking about the fact that, God's going to come through, basically. God is going to handle the enemy and justice will be served. And I just thought that was awesome. So then this song kind of came about from what I journaled.
So there's like this contrast in the verses about, we're kind of posing a question, maybe you're in a hard place, you're gasping for air. What are some of the other lyrics in that first verse?
Maybe you're desperate for freedom, maybe we're frozen in fear. Because the song, like when I initially wrote the lyrics, they were a lot darker. It's just, I want to put people in this really bad place, for God to be a superhero and pull them out. But, want to make it also accessible, so.
Okay. Because then the chorus goes into this really kind of this declaration that He will arise in time. He will arise, my God. He hears every cry. He will arise. So why do you feel like that's important for us, especially this season where we are in Sandals Church, or maybe people walking in the door for the first time? Why do we need to sing words like that over our lives?
I think I honestly forget that when I am facing danger, when I'm facing trials and everything, a lot of times I just forget that God sees me and that God cares about me enough to handle things if they need to be handled. And if they continue, then I know God has me in this for a reason. But I just need to remember He sees me, and if He needs to step in, He's going to do it.
So Matt, what was your role in bringing this song together musically?
Well, I got the demo from Delon. And it really stuck out to me as something I really wanted to start working on right away. Like, it's just one of those songs that jumped out to me, and I kind of was hearing things to it. The first pass at it instrumentally was a lot of like synthesizers and electronic drums, and like really going like deep into that territory just because it was kind of fun. And I just had this idea of fun, like, for this song. Mm-hmm. And then we also worked together on the lyrics for the verses a little bit, like kind of honed those in a little bit. And it was cool seeing the dynamic as those came together. We have this really fun sounding song and this groove and this energy to it with a song talking about waiting on God. And that's not usually what you get with songs that talk about waiting on God. Usually it's a lot more serious and probably more minor chords involved and stuff. And I think while those definitely have their place, it was just something that was appealing more and more, that it was something fun while talking about like not being in necessarily a fun place.
Yeah. So if either one of you can speak to this, but a hope or a prayer for our church as they sing this song, learn the words of the song, what would your hope be for our church?
My hope would be, that as the bridge says, lift your head. My hope would be, that even though there are trials, there are temporary trials that are going to be here all the time, if it's not one, it's the other, but God is here all the time. And it's easy as, like, we can look at the trials, or we can look at the fact that, God is mighty and He can handle anything necessary.
Awesome. How about for you, Matt?
Yeah, I think just that your circumstances don't necessarily need to change for you to have the opportunity to have joy, to have fun even, and to hopefully this song can just be a small way of showing that, like, hey, we're going to recognize the different places we're in, but we're also going to recognize God's goodness and His availability to us and His wisdom in knowing when to act. And I think that's what Him arising in time like really means to me. It's like God's going to take action, and He knows the best time to do that.
Yeah, that's so great. Thanks so much for writing this song. Thank you for sharing it with our church, and keep writing.
Thank you.
He will arise.